Hello, this is Daniel Levan. Welcome to the Wrestling World as I See It podcast. I don't know how many people liked when I would paint up my face. I love painting up my face, but I started having atopic dermatitis, also known as eczema. So, till I find out what causes eczema on my face, then I'm not even going to paint up my forehead until I find out what causes it. So, I don't know if y'all like when I paint up my face. But after what by the way, I had just watched, the last time I tried to record this video topic, I was just listening to it and I realized I spoke so fast that I could barely hear paint myself. So I'm not being condescending. I mumble a lot of times, so I'm slowing my speech down so that when I watch it again I can hear myself. Okay. So, I'm not going to try to paint my forehead until I find out what's causing eczema. What I want to do what I want to do, not just here on for the video podcast, but for the audio podcast too, because I record this for both video and audio. What I want to talk about, or what I want to add to this, is promo practice, because I know how important it is. If if you really think you can do something, you need to practice as much as you can. So, okay, what I've been doing, I don't know how many years now, but I do play by play, and I think, no, let me restate that. I know I can do that in wrestling. So, when the time is right, when when I start to work, I'm gonna save money so I can train for this job. And I already know what I want, what I want to do. I want to be a part-time manager as well as a broadcaster, because I stopped and I thought to myself one day, I was watching um, Raw versus Nitro, which has been my timeline for years now, because I like looking back at the Nitro shows versus Raw shows. So what I had noticed one day when I was watching that was how they tried to turn Jim Ross heel when he introduced Pretend Razor and Pretend Diesel. And I realized that's just like being a manager. And then I remembered one of my favorite managers growing up, also one of my favorite commentators, Bobby the Brain Heenan. He was one of the first people to do both, manage and commentate. So I think I can do that too. Because I've seen for the past 3 years, I've seen how they don't have enough managers today, and when there are managers, they try to be like somebody who's already proven. Now maybe they have a similar personality, I really don't know. But the point is they try to do what's already been proven instead of trying to be original. And I know that what I want to do is original because I know how unusual it would be. But I also know a commentator already at times is like an unofficial manager, because a lot of times they speak on behalf of either a villain or a hero. Now, today you don't really know the difference because they just call them superstar. So it doesn't matter if they're good or bad, I guess, is in their mind is why they don't say babyface and heel. But there are some distinct differences. Like to be honest with you, I probably would be the Ricky Steamboat of commentators slash managers because I don't think I could be a villain. But my character is, I got my deck of cards right here. Aviator. What an aviator cards, what that has to do with my gimmick is that I call myself the dealer because I like to play cards. And I thought as a as a manager, somebody who's trying to become a manager, why not why not why not add card playing and card shuffling? Why not add that? Why not add that to my character? Even if it is just for practice now. I thought, well, why don't I just practice doing that? So this this is my first practice promo. I'm gonna start right now. Promise to only spend an hour and a half at most. Thank you and goodbye. Disappointment, disappointment, disappointment. When I think of the word disappointment, I think of how we don't have really a reason to be disappointed in this country or to stay disappointed. We have a reason to have temporary disappointment, but to stay disappointed is completely unnecessary because we have so much to be thankful for. I I have been disappointed several times myself, as most people, but I don't stay disappointed because I know there's a lot to be thankful for. Like, my biggest disappointment as an early adult was finding out that I can't get in the ring to train because I'm missing a kidney. And I was always missing a kidney since birth, but this was different because I found out at about 19 years old that it didn't regrow. So after a long time, I started to slowly accept that I couldn't do it, and that's when I started doing podcasting. When I got after I got my GED, I may have gone past a minute 30 on this, so I'm sorry for that. So let me just finish it right here. Johnny Johnny Mac here, also known as the Dealer. And when I start when I start training to be in wrestling, I want everybody to know this is not for me. This is because this is a dream job I have. But this isn't for fame. This isn't for recognition. This is something I've always wanted to do, and I think this is the right job for me to do. And how does this tie into disappointment? I've learned the past few months and years how the reason I don't need to be disappointed anymore is because I finally found something I can do in this business, and that's call a match. And I can learn what it means to really exaggerate how you really are in real life. That's part, I believe, of becoming a commentator. And I could talk for people, and I really would love to do that because I see the importance of it. So I promise next time to try to think of the point I want to make and be quicker. Let me just continue on. I'm going to continue talking about WrestleMania 13. The next match. The next match on the card that I'm going to talk about is Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a submission match. These this is actually a really good match. If if, if you don't like um if you like wrestling but you don't like um but you don't like the way that Stone Cold Steve Austin or somebody like that acts, then if all you do is just want to see how they what their in-ring work is saying, but you don't, but you're not really big into how they speak, then you really pay more attention what they do in the ring, like I always have. But this was really a good match because not just the effort of both men, but they pretty much um, exhibited what it means to be have a really good um, match with each other. Steve Austin and Bret Hart were like Sting and Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat, um, Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, or Dusty Rhodes and Harley Race, or Ric Flair and Harley Race. You know, two complete opposites that complemented each other because of their opposites. What we used to call match made in heaven. Hmm. Match started off really good. Double leg takedown by Steve Austin was what really started this match. Bret Hart actually did something that was very, I believe, uncharacteristic, and that was instead of putting his sunglasses on a over a fan's eyes to give them a souvenir and then get in the ring and take his coat off. So I believe that was standard for him to do that. Well, instead of doing that, he took his coat off, put his sunglasses over the fans' eyes, and then he got in the ring. But he had to be uncharacteristic in that manner because this was not a traditional match, and because it's a submission match, it meant even more meant even more that they were going to fight, and that's exactly what they did. Right, one after the other. Bret Hart, he's somebody that actually he's one of the few people I can think of that actually can do a real punch as well as a pretend punch. Go out to the ring, and he's actually getting the better of the exchange because he looks like he's rocking Steve Austin with those right hands. He hit him just with the forearm over the back. Staying out of the ring, he gets hit in the gut with by Austin's boot. Austin holds his head to get him with the right hand. Back and forth, side headlock by Steve Austin, gets thrown into the steel post by Bret Hart. Fortunately covered the steel post with his hand, so he didn't suffer too much damage. From face lock by Bret Hart, he's about to go. What I can only assume is a suplex. It's blocked by Steve Austin. Turns him sideways. He could pick him up right here and puts him. I hope this isn't wrong to say because today's society, I don't know what's deemed appropriate or not. But he landed him crotch first over the steel post, and I hope that's all right to say because I believe that's what we refer to them where it hurts as being. So comes back and clotheslines Brad over the guardrail. He actually lands right by the row that has Captain Lou Albano and Mr. USA sitting there. And Mr. USA is actually an old friend of Steve Austin's. So now Steve Austin's don't he's climbing over the guardrail to go in there after Bradley. He does his forehead against the guardrail. Ken Shamrock went in there to follow them, fortunately. Until by his mannerisms, he's protecting them from the audience as best as he can. Irish whip to Bret Hart by Stone Cold. Cold, I don't, I don't really know what is shielding them from the fans right here. But he takes what looks like a solo cup or something, takes a sip of it and he throws it into Bret Hart's face. Starts kicking him on it or stomping him one after the other, after the other. Okay, looks like he's doing snake eyes right here. Ooh, gets a good too. Okay. Ooh, forearm or right hand by Bret Hart close to the neck of Steve, puts his forehead into what's shielding them from the fans. Let's see. Ken Shamrock jumps over that shield so he could make sure that he's in front of them before they go by the fans. Because they walk up through the audience where the steps are, puts his forehead into something. I'm not really sure what it was, but I think it's what you hold on to, so you can imagine how much that had to hurt. Right hand by Bret, Steve's face. Headbutt by Bret Hart. He's trying to do a pile driver to Bret Hart, the old-fashioned one. Gets back body. He's about to get back body dropped by Bret Hart. Gets it. Does Bret. Let's see. Had to rewind about 5 seconds, I think. But right hand by Bret Hart to Steve Austin. Let's see. Now they're going downward, so they may be on their way back to the ring. I'm not sure. Yeah, looks like they're headed back to the ring. Turns around first as Bret hits him with another right hand. Ken has to go in front of them to try to protect them. See, jumps over the guardrail. Steve gets thrown over the guardrail onto the blue pads. Bret Hart jumps from the top of the guardrail. Boom. Forearm and an elbow to Steve's back. They show a double feature or a replay of what happened earlier in the match. When Bret Hart was put over the guardrail and he was clotheslined by Stone Cold. Irish Whip reversal by Steve Austin to Bret Hart, who hits the steel steps. See, Steve Austin's getting to the up on the ring apron. Jumps off the top rope with a elbow, I believe, right elbow. Knocks down Bret Hart. See, takes the blue steps, top of the blue steps off of the bottom part. He gets kicked in the gut by Bret Hart. He lets go. He drops the steps as he's getting kicked, and he falls down. He just hit Steve Austin with 5 right hands. Let's see what happens next. He gets pulled into the corner of the ring by Steve Austin. It's one thing about a singlet or whatever Bret Hart used to wear is that it's very easy to have the tables turned on you because they can grab a strap saw, which is what Bret Hart, which is what Steve did. Okay, gets hit with the right hand to the face, gets thrown in by Steve. Let's see. Stomp to the forehead. Stomp to the forehead of Bret. Stomp to the left hand of Bret. Let's see. Irish whip. But I think he went. I think he was setting up for a back body drop. It gets countered by Bret Hart into a swinging neck breaker. Jumps up to the middle rope. Well, comes down with an elbow. Across Steve Austin. Bret Hart's starting to work on his left knee for to set up for the sharpshooter. starts working on it, being up into the by the ropes, and he lands on the knee. He used to always do that. I remember seeing him do that in WCW against Kevin Nash when Kevin Nash was in the Wolfpack. Starts working on the knee, left knee again. Continues to work over the knee. It's a couple of left elbows over his knee, left knee, no, right elbows. He pulls back on the knee, which is actually a classic way to work on the knee. Even hits him on, and gives him a right hand across his left knee. He pulls back on it again, and by this time, Steve Austin's having trouble actually standing up. Oh, he gets kicked under his knee. Okay, starts working on it, but ooh, this time he missed. So Austin finally pulled his foot out of the way. Stunner. Ooh, too bad this isn't a false count anywhere match. Could have been over right there. Kicks, Bret Hart kicks Steve again in the forehead, in the knee. See, hold on. I don't know this for a fact. but I don't think Steve had any operations on his knees, so I wonder why his knee was so bad. Okay, he's about to do the figure four across the steel post. Bret Hart is. Let's see. Now, I don't know if Steve Austin had the time to do this, but looking back on this match, since he was not a submission wrestler, wonder why Steve Austin didn't see the need to ask Ric Flair, who was one of his heroes in the ring, to show him the figure four. That could have been a perfect maneuver to use in a match like this. No, because this is a submission match, practically anything goes anyway. So only thing Sebastian really needed to do was say, I give up, I give up. Well, actually, why it was a perfect match because you didn't know who was going to win. You knew who the better technician, you knew who the better submission wrestler was, but you did not know who was going to win because they're both too proud to submit. But Hart throws Steve back in the ring after he lets go of the figure four over the steel post. And what I never understood is why they wanted to use the ring bell as a weapon. He's about to work over the ankle and knee, or just the knee, of Steve Austin by using a chair. But I believe he's trying to go after the ankle, which I've seen him do this before. Maybe not to Steve Austin, but to someone in their street clothes. Hold on. Okay. He left the steel chair, left Steve Austin, who you can't trust to do anything, right? So he gets a takes the steel chair and he hits right of over the back of the head with it. Uses the chair over Brad's back. Let's see. No, actually, he can't use his left knee, so he had to just throw him down. Irish whip to Bret Hart into the rope. Hmm. Front face lock by Steve Austin. Vertical suplex. Show a double feature of the two chair shots by Steve Austin. Steve Austin jumps up to the middle rope. Does his version of Bret Hart's elbow across the face. I don't even think that was a kick to the abdomen. I think that was a kick between the legs, and I think that was in front of Bret Hart's daughter. That is, and oh, so even if you're a kid and you let me state that even if you understand this isn't real, you may still not like to see it because it's your parent. Side Russian leg sweep to Bret Hart. Steve Austin somehow did learn submission hold by holding putting his leg behind Bret Hart's head and neck and pulling on his, at least his right arm, maybe even his left arm. So that could be considered submission hold. That, so I would say that's impressive. Lets go. He lets go of that maneuver. They even show Stu Hart in the audience, just showing his concern for his son here. Looks like Steve Austin is going for the old fashioned. No, he's going for. Thought he was going for a catapult, but he looks like he's going for old fashioned Boston crab. You see maneuvers like this, you really do see how Steve Austin's actually underrated as an in ring wrestler. As a technical wrestler, he's actually underrated. We knew he was tough. We knew he knew how to make it look like he was beating people up, but he's not known for his physical, technical prowess. So that's why I say he's underrated as a technical wrestler. He just he just didn't know a lot of submission holds to use. He just had to let go of the Boston Crab. Okay, let's see. He may be going for the sharpshooter right here, which has always been, as we used to call, a slap in the face when you use your opponent's hold against them. Eye rake by Bret Hart slows him down big time. Right hand by Bret to the abdomen of Steve Austin. Another right hand. Another right hand. Let's see. I think that was close to a forearm or an elbow. As he's running, he gets thrown to the metal rope by Steve Austin and he lands outside on the blue mat. Hmm. Ken goes out there, follow Bret, asking him if he wants to continue. Irish whip, reversal. Ooh, I'm not sure what he hit. I don't know if he hit the guardrail or if he hit something else, but I believe he cut his head open. The forehead is very vascular, as well as the rest of the face, so he could have started bleeding because of hitting the guardrail. Gonna look at that again, and they showed double replay. Irish whip attempt reversal by Bret Hart. Yeah, I do believe, unless he had a razor, no, unless he had a blade in his tape, I believe he could have cut his head open while he landed into the guardrail. Right hand. Ooh. Throw him into the other steel post. One thing that's always amazed me, at least in these days, was how they would have steel steps, I believe, on two sides, but not on the other side. Now, today may be different. I think back then they only used steel steps on two sides of the ring, and when I was about 5 or 6 years old, I used to see WCW used steps in the middle of the ring, which I thought that was interesting. Ooh, forearm over the back of the neck of Steve Austin. I don't mean to digress, but as I'm thinking about that, I'm realizing, of course, they changed the side of the ring to put the steps at because the more the more they threw the rule book out the window, the more people would get thrown over the top rope or through the ropes. So the less likely they are to hit the steps, moving it to the side of the ring where the turnbuckle pads are. Kicked Steve Austin, I believe, a couple of times. Ooh, forearm. Oh, just spoke about that. Okay. Let's see. Kicks him in the forehead. Hmm. Okay, let's just one kick. Okay. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Right to the wounded head of Steve Austin. Now I don't know how many stitches he received for that, but I know as bloody as he was right here, he had to have received some stitches because when I saw Roxy Laveau get accidentally cut open, she needed about 14 stitches in her head, and she's afraid of needles. Yeah, it just hit him with the old school backbreaker. Did the Bret Hart. Let's see. Middle rope, elbow. I think he's going to use that chair to add more pressure to the knee. Ooh, that hurts. By the way, for people who love to read not just articles about wrestling, but list articles, at the moment I'm preparing a list article sample on the Sportster. When I'm finished with it, I'll let y'all know what it's about. And if it's accepted, I'll let y'all know it's accepted. And if it's added, I'll let y'all know so that y'all can read it if y'all like that. It's on the sports. It will be. If it gets accepted, it would be on the Sportster website. Ooh, Bret Hart's about to put that sharpshooter on him. Let's see. Okay, it messes with Bret's hair so that he'll fall down. I think he even hit him. Not sure. Bret Hart, his arsenal, despite what he said about wrestling differently in one night when he won the King of the Ring, his arsenal is not. His arsenal is pretty well known. Inverted atomic drop, and you go for the sharpshooter. Right hand, right hand, right hand, right hand. Steve Austin in the corner. Let's see. Ooh, gets kicked in between the legs by Steve. Irish whip to Brett into the rope. Ooh, start him first. Falls down. Let's see. Right. Kicks him with his right foot. 9 stomps and another kick. Okay. So what he goes for here. He puts Bret Hart up on the top rope so he could do a superplex. when he was when Steve Austin was one of the stars being asked about um, members of the Horsemen when they were inducted in the Hall of Fame, he spoke about how good Barry Windham was. So Barry Windham was probably a big reason why he thought of using the superplex because that was actually Barry Windham's finisher at one time. Through the middle rope, Bret Hart holds on to the rope so he won't land outside. They used to always have the some I believe it's what we call cable wires, and I believe that's what they used to use for both the monitors and to help with the ring also. So I remember Jeff Jarrett said that a cable they used for the ring in TNA was snapped, so they had to find another cable to fix it. So I think that's part of the. I believe that was part of the. I believe that's why they used to have cable rope that that was around ringside that people could use if they saw need to. Brad gets out of this predicament by using the ring bell that he brought by the ring in the first place. he grabs Steve by his legs this time, gets the sharpshooter successfully set up and executed. I believe it took about 2 or 3 minutes before Steve Austin passed out from this because of the pain that he was experiencing. Yeah, I think he's about to pass out because he looks like he's having a harder time fighting the pain. So forget all that blood he was losing also. Yeah, he's using every bit of muscle to break out of it, and he's almost out of it, but Bret Hart still has enough enough of a grip on it that all he has to do is stand up and put it back on him. Yeah, took him about it's taking him almost 2 minutes to pass out from this. He finally passed out, so Ken Shamrock's telling him he won the match. That's where I'll stop it right there. Thank you and goodbye.